So getting right to it, I got my BABYLISS REDFX with a number 2 guard. The reason I chose that guard is because, as you can see, my customer is thinning in certain areas. So what we're trying to do is preserve some of that darkness while blending it in so it's not obvious where he's thinning at. So that's why I chose this guard. So in this haircut, you're gonna see me fade up as well as fade down, debulking this area right here. As you can see on my guide on the side, it says to create a faux guideline, and the reason I call it a faux guideline because it's kind of like you're setting in your guideline with a trimmer, but instead we're just going to use this one close and we're just going to fade into that number 2. Before I go any further, I just want to say welcome back to the channel. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Christopher Manyweather with Dead Stock Barbershop, and I make videos right here on YouTube to help you take your career as far as you can in the shortest amount of time. If that sounds like something you're into, then make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. I guarantee you won't regret it. So using the balding method of your choice, you can use your wall balding clippers, your detachable clippers, whatever, your trimmers as I'm using right here. But you're just gonna get that initial guideline set in and ready to fade. Clean it up as you go. Right here, I'm using my BABYLISS REDFX with no guard, and I'm going in. The method is open lever, close lever, halfway, quarter. And I'm just gonna clean it up. Detailing, looking for any dark spots, light spots. And I really want to have this section done before I go on to the next section or next panel. So I go back to my ANDIS Masters, no guard. And what you'll notice is that I'm doing the same exact steps, but I'm just going higher up, and I'm able to do that because the clipper has a longer range than the BABYLISS clipper or BABYLISS clipper. So I open it up, now I go halfway, quarter, close, and that'll also allow me to detail what I had just done, because as I go down lower, I'll close my blade up. And as I go higher right here, higher than my initial open, I change the position of my clipper, and so I'm cutting on the teeth of the clipper, not the heel. Cutting with the grain just kind of blends it in and smooths it out for me. Using those corners to detail work. So moving along to the beard, I'm just gonna do the same exact steps. Open, closing them, quarter away, it's the same exact thing. And I use the number 2 to debulk that area because I feel like it gives a better transition for the beard. And by me using the corner of the blade with no guard on it, I'm able to skip that 0 guard or the 1/16 guard. So what you're seeing me do right now is my rough draft for my beard lining. I like to go in, I'll put the line on there, but of course I'm gonna come back, hit it with the razor, hit it with the trimmer again, and probably hit it with the razor again after that. And it's just like your fading steps. You put the fade in there, but then you come back and you detail as you go along. And that's the same thing I do with my edge up on the beard. So here I am with the razor. Make sure that you stretch the skin out so that you are not cutting your customer because the skin is not tight enough. This will allow for that blade to kind of move smoothly. And for my detail work, I change my vantage point. What that means is if I cut him looking directly from the side, then when I do my detail work, I'm going to change my angle to where I might be standing a little bit behind him so I can see anything that I might have missed that first time around. And as you can see, I spin the head around and I'm going to match up the other side. And the steps are the same. Same thing I did on the right side, I'll do it on the left side. We're looking for symmetry, we're looking for balance. So I'm gonna speed it up since you guys have already seen it, and we're just gonna go through. Talk about it a lot. You gotta have a system, you gotta have a method, something that you can know, you can go back to. Even if you do a cut with no guidelines, let's say you get lost, then you know you can revert to your system that you've already had down packed. Or if you're running behind, you know, having a system by which you cut hair, it will allow you to get caught up, because now I know I can just do that same system. I can just do it faster, I can speed it up, and the process will be the same. The cut will come out the same, but the time will be the only thing that's different. So right here, what I want to show you are the different angles by which I do my fading. So right now I'm cutting with the teeth of the blade, or some would call it the toe. So you have the heel, you have the toe of the blade. So I have it angled as I go higher to where the teeth are the only thing that's touching the head. The full blade is not resting on his head, and I do this so that it creates another length in between. And it especially comes in handy when you're skipping a guard. Like, I'm not going to use a zero at all in this haircut. So what I'm doing now is just more detailed work. You'll see me cutting with the grain, you'll see me cutting against with just 3 teeth or just 2 teeth of the blade. And I'm just looking for any dark spots, any light spots, and I'm just trying to get this blade to come out, this fade to come out as smooth as possible. And now that both sides are done, I'm just going to connect the back to the sides, doing the same exact steps once again. So cutting hair is just repetition. The more reps you get in, the better your haircuts are going to come out. Consistency, that's what we're building. Muscle memory. People think that, oh, while I'm cutting hair, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. Like, no, I don't even think about what I'm doing. I just been doing it so long, and I've done it so many times, and I do it so many times a day that it just comes natural. So what that quick zoom in was me checking the time. If you want to be a good barber, a busy barber, a book barber, you have to make sure that you're paying attention to the schedule that you have, because you have customers coming in right after this guy. And as much as you want to detail and put out the best work, you have to do that with your other customers in mind as well. So stick to your schedule and be attentive to, pay attention to the amount of time that it's taking you to do these, and base your schedule around that. Don't book a 30-minute schedule for someone that's gonna take you 45 minutes to an hour to do, because that's just not fair to the next person that's coming along. So as always, we knock that mustache hair down so it doesn't curl in his lip, and then you put a nice clean edge up on there. He doesn't do the inside of his beard too much, so I'll just clean it up around the lip area so it's not curving into his mouth. In the same way I knock the mustache down, I'm gonna do the front of this hairline. Lay that down so that the edge up will last a lot longer. It won't curl up on him. Starting from the middle, I work my way out to the right, and then I'll work my way to the left. Just paying attention to the position of my blade, making sure that I'm giving him a straight line up, as straight as I can possibly get it. don't want to push too hard. My trimmers are not completely zero gap. They are close, but I do not want to cut him or irritate his skin. Same thing I did to that side, I'm gonna do to the other side. Making sure that you're brushing as you're edging up. You're getting those loose hairs that are gonna come down. Because the main thing they're gonna do, as soon as they're done with their haircut, they're gonna push their hands down across their forehead, wipe their edge up, do all kind of weird stuff, and you'll be like, oh my God, let me hit this again. So you wanna make sure that you test it for them. And as I do my beard trims, I always comb the beard out, fluff it out as much as possible, and then I'll shape it up. He doesn't like a whole lot taken off. He's trying to get the beard as big as possible. So I'm just gonna clean it up as much as possible without taking too much of the length. Whenever you're shaping up a beard or a fro, that's when you want to pay attention to the position of the blade. I definitely keep the heel of the blade flat against the hair, and I'll just glide across and catch anything that runs across the teeth. As you see, like I said earlier, I'm going to come back and touch up that beard anyway with the razor. So your initial lines don't have to be the sharpest or the cleanest. Get it in there first, make sure it's straight and how you want it, and then you clean up. So right here, I had to turn the lights on so I can make sure that I can see everything as I get ready to clean up the top of his head. And I'm just looking for any loose hairs. Just trying to get it as clean as possible. So right here, I'll clean them up, get any loose hair off, and I'll go back and I'll just detail work with the trimmers. Anything that's hanging over, I'm just gonna get it all up. So here's your before. As you can see, my guy was looking ultra busted. He had not had a haircut in 2 months, and he's thinning on top. But now look at him. This is with no enhancements. We put that number 2 guard on him, and we blended that area on in, and my guy is looking like a brand new man. And I enjoy doing this haircut. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I pray that you guys were able to learn from it and that you were able to pick up some nuggets from it. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can get more heat like this. And I'll see you guys in the comment section.